Alright, hello again. This is Jeff Scott, and I've been talking threat modeling with you. We just went over the threat modeling principles, and now we're going to go over the threat modeling tool principles. I'm going to do this very, very quickly just because, as I mentioned to you, these slides have not been updated for the new Microsoft Threat Modeling Tool 2016. So what I'm going to do is go through this quickly and then go through another set of PowerPoints that I have prepared on my own regarding threat modeling. So, taking this from the top, as you can see right here, we're going to, talk about the steps again for as far as some of the benefits and the features of threat modeling, and then go through the actual steps. Now, even though we've changed from Microsoft Threat Modeling Tool 2014 to Microsoft Threat Modeling Tool 2016, the ideas are still pretty much the same. In other words, we draw the diagrams, as you see right here, then we analyze the model, describe the environment, and generate the reports. So I will go over the stuff that's in here, but like I said, since it's changed quite a bit, I'm going to go over it quickly. All right. So as far as an overview of the tool, the Microsoft SDL Threat Modeling Tool is used to identify security threats to a system and establish appropriate mitigation. This is a graphical user interface or GUI tool that helps application designers create and analyze threat models. You can see the official website, but I believe that all that stuff that's out there is for the 2014 tool and not the 2016 tool, which, as mentioned, was just recently been released. So, you've seen this before. We've talked about this, that the idea is, as you're going through the system here, well, in step one, you're going to model. And when you model, you're creating the data flow diagrams that are available in the Microsoft Threat Modeling Tool. So one of the things that you get out of doing this is, as mentioned here, some process automation. Through this automated process, your application teams can better ensure that they're following the process correctly and yielding the greatest results for their efforts. Another advantage, as we make our way through here, is, as mentioned there is guided analysis of threats and mitigation using STRIDE. So this tool is very much acclimated with the STRIDE tool that we have talked about earlier. All right. Application teams that use Visual Studio can use Visual Studio Team Foundation Server to help integrate better with the Threat Modeling Tool's report integration capability. And finally, the Threat Modeling Tool itself creates some built-in action reports, which can be used by the rest of the team to drive security and testing activities. So there's 4 steps to using the modeling tool. The first is the draw diagram step. Here, you model the application design as a data flow diagram. The data flow diagram is used by the SDL Threat Modeling Tool to drive the rest of the threat analysis process. Second, you come through here and you analyze the model. In this step, the tool itself will analyze your data flow diagram and produce a list of potential threats using the STRIDE model. The SDL threat modeling process uses a mapping between elements within DFDs to threats within the STRIDE model. In this way, the tool can also be used by non-security experts, and we've talked about that earlier. The third step is the describe environment step. This step captures information regarding how the application being threat model will be deployed. The information gathered here does not affect the threat model analysis results, all right, but it may be useful in the overall threat analysis process. The last step is the regenerate report step. In this final step, the threat modeling tool will help generate different kinds of reports, such as analysis reports and recommended testing reports. All right, so let's take a look at the actual steps that are in here now. Step one, again, is to draw diagrams. All right. So it's going to come through and draw a DFD. Again, there's a little bit different in the 2016 model, but the ideas are basically the same. The Microsoft SDL threat modeling tool uses a drag and drop Visio type, or pretty much Visio looking interface. Visio is not needed any longer. It was needed in 2014. I'm sorry. Yeah, it was needed in 2014, no longer needed in 2016. After the application has been modeled as a DFD, the next step is the analyze model step. Here, potential threats against the DFD are identified and mitigations are documented. So you get something that looks like this. You can see the stride stuff that's in there, and you can see the M for mitigation in there as well. So the threat modeling tool generates a baseline set of potential threats using stride. That's what's shown here by the red boxes. Mitigations are shown by the green boxes, as mentioned. In step 3, you come through and describe the environment in which the application will be deployed. This step does not affect the set of baseline threats developed by the modeling tool, but it's useful for documenting any security dependencies or assumptions. Finally, you've got step 4 here, where you generate reports. Here, reports summarize threats identified, mitigations selected, and any other useful analysis details. So you come through here, you create your DFDs. All right, you run through the rest of the process. So this is pretty much it for this short demonstration look at the SDL threat modeling tool. Again, it's a little bit old, and there is a brand new one for 2016. Okay, remember there's 4 steps to using the tool. The first is to draw the diagram when you create your DFDs. The second is to analyze the model, where a baseline set of potential threats based off of the DFDs is generated by the tool, and mitigations are at least beginning mitigations are documented. The third step is the describe environment, where details regarding the app and any dependencies and assumptions are documented. Finally, the reports that summarize the threats, etc., are done during the generated reports step. That's pretty much it. We've already seen this, and they do put in here some of the, I think there's, yeah, this is, so far, we've talked about secure design principles, secure implementation principles, secure verification principles. We've also gone through threat modeling principles and threat modeling tool principles. That ends the 100 or introductory level presentations. Next, we're going to go into SQL injection, cross-site scripting, and a few other 200 levels, and then into buffer overflow, which is 300 level. All right, and that's it.